friends, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing really well. So here we are with June's book haul. I have been out hunting for the past few weeks, and let me tell you, I found some amazing books, including some grail finds and including some finds of books that I've never heard before. We've got new collections that we're going to be starting, and also some books within collections that I already have that I didn't even know it existed. So get yourself a cup of coffee or a water or a pop or something, because this is going to be a long haul. I think I have about 60-ish books that I need to show to you, all of them vintage, all of them nostalgic, and this is going to be, I think, the last big book haul for a while, because as you guys know, I do want to get the library ripped apart. There's other things that I want to get for the house and stuff, so you know, just putting my funds towards other things. I want to be filming some more videos as well. I want to get back to filming for my other channel also, and yeah, so let's enjoy this book haul. While we're doing it, I want to get these cataloged. They're all de-stickered at least, but I do want to get them cataloged and up on the shelves. Just remembered there's 2 more stacks upstairs, so I'll be with you guys in a second. Okay, so sorry if the camera angle has changed a little bit. I wanted to grab these other 2 stacks that were in the process of being de-stickered for this haul, because some of them are really exciting that I actually got, and I'm going to be doing continuing on, I should say, with the bookshelf tours as well. I hope you guys have been enjoying those. Let me know if you enjoy doing the bookshelf tours. I just find they're a little bit relaxing and you don't have to look at my face, you're just looking at the books. So yeah, last big book haul probably for the next little while. Like I said, Halloween is coming up, so there's all kinds of things we're going to be doing for that. We're trying to get some new stuff for the house. Matthew and I have new tattoos planned for the fall. Course. He got his first one. Well, our first tattoos were our wedding bands, but he got his first like real tattoo a few weeks ago. I'll insert a picture if I can. It's gorgeous, and of course now he's got the itch to get some more, and we're kind of tying in his next tattoo plan with my next tattoo plan, and our artist is super excited to be doing it. So other things that are going to be coming up, so let's enjoy the book haul while we still have a big one to enjoy. And like I said, super excited for these because there are some really rare grails in here. So let's jump into this, starting off with the middle grade books. Okay, so the first stack, I did find a whole slew of the Mandy Books, which is a new collection that I started I believe towards the end of last year. I didn't even know these books existed, but they are very much reminiscent of something that I would have read when I was a kid. I grew up with things like Anne of Green Gables and Road to Avonlea and all of that kind of thing, which you'll see some other books in here that are kind of have the same sort of tie-in. But I never ever read these books as a kid, and they're so super cute, and I really do want to read them. And it was super exciting, number one, that I found so many, but also that I found number 1 in the series, which is super exciting. So starting off with number 1, we have Mandy and the Secret Tunnel. And I love the cover on this book because it just has all the feels of these like 2 little girls with their gas lamps going up to like a spooky attic, it looks like. And this, like I said, is so reminiscent of my childhood. So this is a series by Lois Gladys Leppard, and I do want to pick some of these up before the end of the year. I'm hoping to. I always have so many plans and then I never get around to them, but really super excited to finally have number 1 in the series. And let me know if I have to read these in order. Anybody who's out there that's read the Mandy books, let me know if I have to read them in order or if I can just read the ones that I have. Then we have number 14, Mandy and the Shipboard Mystery. We have number 15, Mandy and the Foreign Spies. Okay, I guess I wasn't meant to film this haul today. Matthew just came home with lunch. Alright, so back to the Mandy books. We have book number 17, Mandy and the Singing Chalet. Number 18, Mandy and the Jumping Juniper. Number 19, Mandy and the Mysterious Fisherman. Number 24, Mandy and the Invisible Trunk. And this one has a super cute cover on it as well. These two little girls. Then we have number 27, Mandy and the Courtroom Battle. We have number 31, Mandy and the Buried Stranger. So it looks like she's getting a little bit older now from what I can see. And then the last one, number 32, Mandy and the Seaside Rendezvous. So this very much has like an Anne and Diana kind of feel on the front here. So super, super cute. Like I said, I definitely want to read some of these kind of before the year is out. I think, you know, every now and again I get really in the mood for like the Anne of Green Gables, Road to Avonlea kind of shows. I get really in the mood for them, and I think these would fit in perfectly. So I'm so super excited to get into these ones. And if you know how many Mandy books there are, let me know down in the comments. So along the same lines as the Mandy books, we do have an L.M. Montgomery. So this is out of the Emily series. I wasn't sure if there was an actual number on this, but it's not. This is Emily's Quest. So I knew this series as Emily of New Moon when I was growing up, which was also like a Canadian sort of period drama sort of series. So I have, oh, this says third in the series. So I do have a couple of the other Emily books, so I'll be happy to put that one with them. And then a new series that I found out book hunting, and when I got home, I didn't know what this had to do with. I just knew it was kind of like a mystery sort of series along the same lines as the Mandy books or like the Tom and Liz Austen mysteries. So this is the Sugar Creek Gang. So another book series that I didn't know existed. There's quite a few of these by looking at the back here. And apparently this is like a Christian sort of contemporary series, which I always find that they're super cheesy and have a lot of plot elements, obviously, that have to do with morals and that kind of Christian way of living sort of thing. And it's really cute because these actually have, I think they're ex-library copies because they actually do still have the pocket in the front where the, I'm kind of sad the library card isn't in it, but even just that it has the little pocket for the library card in the front here. So I think I went to the bookstore at the right time because there were a lot of books, I believe, that were offloaded from schools, and maybe they were clearing out libraries, making room for other things, or like teachers I know a lot of times have their classroom libraries, and I think they were clearing things out. So back to the Sugar Creek Gang. So we have number 5, The Secret Hideout. So this is a series by Paul Hutchins, and let me just see if I can find a date on these. I believe they're 80s. Oh, these are like way old. These are like 60s. Okay, so this one's 1972. So number 5 doesn't actually have the copyright page in it anymore. It was torn out. You can see how it was torn out. Then this one is from 1965. This is number 15 in the Sugar Creek Gang, Lost in the Blizzard. And then this one is from 1972, number 22, The Sugar Creek Gang and the Treehouse Mystery. So series by Paul Hutchins, and it says on the front, interest level ages 7 to 12, so kind of in that children's into middle grade sort of sphere. So I'm really excited to start this series. I'd never heard of it before I came home. I had to look it up, but like I said, there's quite a few in this series, and definitely excited to add another one to the middle grade shelf. I've actually done some reorganizing in the library recently because before I tear it apart, I wanted to kind of see how I wanted the library to flow after I get it all put back together once we're done our renovations. So I want to take some pictures and everything of what's going on, and I need to get some new shelves and this and that. So I'm super excited to put those with the middle grade section of the library. Okay, we do have 2 Eric Walters books. So this is a Canadian author that writes kind of contemporary sort of fiction, but I do have, there's one series that I have by him that's called Camp X that has sort of like a like a government initiative sort of sci-fi thing, a sort of angle going to it. But I think these are a little bit more contemporary. So we have Rebound, and it has like a sports theme, and then we have Stars. This one. So this one just says on the back, Joseph had never known the sky could be so big, but somewhere out here in the wilderness, everything was clearer. A guy noticed things he couldn't see in the city. Maybe he'd just been too busy stealing and running and hiding from the cops to look up. Or maybe he stuck with this stupid bunch of losers and social workers was beginning to get to him. Whatever it was, the sky was huge and full of stars, and stars were what Joseph liked the best. And it says Eric Walters is an elementary school teacher who lives just outside of Toronto. Each year he writes a novel for his students to encourage their writing. Eric is also a social worker and family therapist. His first young adult novel, Stand Your Ground, is available from Fitzhenry and Whiteside. So that's actually pretty cool that he was a school teacher, or is a school teacher, that writes a book to encourage his students, and also has that kind of social worker aspect which would fit into this story. So very cool. I haven't read any Eric Walters yet, but I definitely want to pick him up at some point. We also have one out of the Choose Your Own Adventure series. So this is Choose Your Own Adventure #1, The Cave of Time. And this one's in really, really good condition. Usually when I find the Choose Your Own Adventures, they're really, really beaten up. Like the copies that I have are not in good condition at all. I got this specific one at Goodwill, and I love Goodwill because their books are always in really good condition and they don't put stickers on the back, so then I don't have to bother destickering them and risking damage on the back of the book. So super, super excited to find that one and put with the rest of the Choose Your Own Adventure books that I have. We also have one Eric Wilson, and I haven't done my summer reading pile of possibilities yet, but maybe I'll put this one in. It doesn't say if this is a Tom or Liz Austen mystery. I think this one might not fit in with those, because like they're not even numbered either. So I think this might be a standalone of his. Summer of Discovery. Do ghosts of hymn-singing children haunt the cluster of abandoned buildings on the Saskatchewan prairie? So that sounds pretty cool. So super cheesy Canadian fiction. Like I said, we've got some Eric Walters, we've got some Eric Wilson, and his books are so super cute. I read only one of them, but the other one, the synopses sound really, really good too. So definitely want to pick up more of him. And then I picked this one up as well. This one, I believe it's from the 70s or 80s. 1982. So this could actually go on my, okay, so I don't know if I've actually told you guys yet, but I do want to do a birthday shelf where I have books that were published in 1982, which is my birthday year, obviously. So this one, and I think this is part of the reason I picked this one up, but it also has like the super cheesy cover as well, which absolutely screams 80s. So this is Space Station 7th grade for Jason. Junior high has its ups and downs, but this is the funniest, truest, and best book about turning into a teenager that you'll find, really. So I think, you know, if this is about young boys coming of age sort of story, and it has a lot of comedy and stuff in it, I think I'll really, really like this one. Oh, and this one is another one, actually, maybe I'll put in my summer reading pile of possibilities. This one looks really good too. This is a Bantam Skylark book, and usually like the covers in this style is very reminiscent of my childhood. I'd never heard of this one, but just the cover style is very familiar. So this is Haunting with Louisa, the Ghost Fairy. Can Louisa save Dee from mortal danger by Emily Cates? So very much, you know, like an 80s, 90s sort of theme. And it's purple as well. Some people might call this blue, but it's purple to me. And that just made me super happy as well. So it says, Dee Forrest and Louisa Lockwood are the most unusual friends to come along in a very long time. Dee, with her high tops and her faded jeans, is your average 1990s girl, while Louisa is a proper ghost from the past. Together, they are searching for a way to get Louisa back to where she belongs. What they find are ghostly mysteries and one very best friendship, That sounds fantastic. You know, there's so much shit going on in the world these days. It's hard not to get caught up in it. And then of course, you know, we all have our life stuff going on. Had to renew my mortgage today. The rates went up. You know, it's just crappy things that you have to deal with as an adult, and just having books like this that I can read, sit down and read in a couple of hours brings me so much joy and happiness. Okay, so we have a Goosebumps, and I didn't even know that these ones existed. So this is triple header Goosebumps. So this is book 2, 3 Shocking Tales of Terror. So this is book 2 out of that trilogy, and you can see it has like a holographic thing kind of on the front here. And so I don't know what the actual title is. It just says 3 Shocking Tales of Terror, book 2, triple header. And I didn't even know these existed. So really super excited to put these with my, it says look for more Goosebumps series 2000. And this came out, this is a first printing from May 1998. And I remember I found this one at the Goodwill as well. And it was raining so hard that day. And I had to try to stick my books in my purse and run to my car. But luckily I got away with no damage. So I didn't, like I said, I didn't even know these ones existed. So super excited to put that on my Goosebumps shelf. And then kind of along the same sort of lines, we have a Spooksville. This is number 6, Spooksville number 6, The Witch's Revenge. And I recently talked about the Spooksville series in my recent reads video, and I love this series. It's so super cute. Number 4 was actually so far my favorite book in the series, but I do know about the witch that they're talking about, that they're referring to in this one, and I'm super excited about this. So I only have to get through number 5 before I get to this one as it is. So I know there's a couple of different like cover styles of Spooksville, and right now the ones that I do have in physical copy are all like different ones, but they're getting more and more rare to find. I don't find them a whole lot when I'm out and about. So when I do see one that I don't own, regardless of the cover type, I go ahead and grab it, and I can always replace it once I figure out which cover version that I would like to have in my library. Along the same lines, we have a Bone Chillers. Now, I don't think I have any in the Bone Chiller series, and this just so happens to be book number 1. So this is Beware the Shopping Mall. So it has, you know, the raised cover and the whole thing. It very much has that Goosebumps feel. All sales are final, and it has these super cool skeletons on the front. So it's very rare that, especially when I'm starting a new series, that I find book number 1 right off the bat. So I was super, super happy to find this. I haven't read any of the Bone Chillers before. By the time these came out, I had moved on to like more YA and adult horror. I was reading Anne Rice when I was like 11 or 12, so you know, these kind of escaped me. So this came out in February 1994, so I would have been past this at that point. But I'm super excited to start finally the Bone Chillers series in my collection. And then we do, if you guys saw my last book haul, I found a whole slew of the Shivers series. And this is one that was not included in that big haul that I did. It was so good. I got them all for like $1.25 each. And, you know, I think I got like 18 or 20 of them. So that was really, really good. So this is number 25 in the Shivers series, A Ghostly Playmate. Not in fantastic condition, but definitely good enough for the library, and especially because I hadn't seen this one ever in the wild before. And it says, I dare you to come out and play. So I would like to do kind of like a creepy kid, creepy doll sort of month that I'm reading. I have a lot of creepy doll books these days, and creepy kids as well. So I think that would be good. And I could probably rewatch some of my favorite movies as well to accompany that. The movie called Dolls is hilarious. We watched it a couple of years ago for the first time, and it had all the cheese. We laughed our way through the entire movie. It was so, so good. If you hear jets flying over, like, we're in a flight path, but for the past 2 days, the amount of planes that have been doing flyovers is crazy. But then again, we do have like the G7 starting in Kananaskis, which is not far from here, so it could have something to do with that. So another one that I found, I'd never heard of this series before, looks super cheesy, middle grade. I found book number 1 in the Camp Runamuck series. Do you guys know about this one? Obviously, this came after my time when I was a kid, but it's an Apple book, 1997, so late 90s. So people who are kind of in a little bit of the generation younger than me might know this one a little bit better than I do. But of course it has all of the creepy, crawly, ooey gooey sort of things going on the front here. We have like critters and flies and stuff like that, and it says greasy, grimy gopher guts. So I was super excited to find this, and it made me laugh, so I went ahead and bought it. I've got the sticker off, but I believe I paid like $1.29 or something for it. So another new series to start on the middle grade shelf. So on to the next stack. So we have some middle grade going into YA series here. So these are like, you know, my normal collection sort of girly series going on, but we do have a couple here that I didn't know anything about before I got these. So these are like the girly kind of series from the 80s and 90s, and there's a couple of standalone contemporaries here that didn't really fit anywhere else. So we have a Sweet Valley Twins, and this one, you know, it wasn't fantastic, but even just you know, unbending it a little bit did help, since I picked it up from the thrift store, and I just kind of sandwiched it between a couple of books. Oh, my battery is gonna die. Of course, you know, I'm gonna have to charge my battery before I get back to the rest of this haul. So I'll just finish talking about this book and we'll take a little break. So this is Escape from Terror Island, number 92 in the Sweet Valley Twins. I haven't found a Sweet Valley Twins in quite some time, and I love that this one has some images from the show on the back cover here, on the inside back cover, and it says Sweet Valley High Life, one episode at a time. Check your local listings. So yeah, I hadn't found a Sweet Valley Twins for quite some time, so I was super excited to get this one, and I love how it has the summer feels. Might have to throw in this one into my pile of possibilities as well. Okay, so we'll take a little bit of a break. I've got to charge my battery, and then we'll continue with the haul. Okay, so now that we've had a little bit of battery charge here, let's continue with the book haul. Okay, so we were talking about Sweet Valley Twins, and I do have another one. Now this one is a little bit, so this is more of the traditional kind of cover. And then I have this one that has like a newer style cover. I hadn't seen one like this before. They're very, the girls are very cartoony looking to me. When is this from? This is from 1998. So yeah, coming into that kind of early 2000s era where kind of the animation on things were a little bit different. This is very 1998 as far as I'm concerned. So a couple more for the Sweet Valley Twins collection. Like I said, I was super excited to find these because I haven't found any Sweet Valley Twins in quite some time. Okay, getting into the Babysitters Club. So I have a few, and I found a couple in the mainstream series that I didn't have for my collection. Now, I found some of these at the Goodwill as well, and they had a whole slew of them, and they were in almost perfect condition, like all of them. And I was actually tempted to grab all of them because I knew that a lot of them were in better condition than what I had in my what I have on my shelves right now, but it just wasn't in the budget. So I just got the ones that I was missing. So we have this one, number 23. Now for my my Babysitters Club collection, I also am very choosy over the type of covers. I don't like the newer style covers for them, so I try to get the ones that are the traditional like 80s 90s covers that I had when I was growing up. So this one is number 23, Dawn on the Coast. Dawn is a California girl. So hopefully you can see that there. So number 23, like I said, it's in really, really good condition. I can see one of the pages is kind of, oh, it's got a little bit of a chunk kind of folded in there. And then this is the first time I've seen this one, and I always say that the higher numbers are super rare to find because they didn't print as many of them. So this is number 83, Stacy versus the BSC. Stacy could never outgrow BSC, could she? And it says here, 100 million books, 100 million friends. So this is very much towards coming out of the height of its popularity. Like I said, you know, the higher numbers, they didn't print as many. This is the first printing from 1995. I just read it. March 1995. So first time I had seen this one, I knew I didn't have it for my collection, and it was just one of those situations. I ran into the store. I wasn't having a whole lot of luck that day with books, and I happened to see a whole bunch that I needed, but I knew I didn't have those two because I had never seen those covers before. They didn't look familiar to me. And then two out of kind of the extended series or the spin-offs. So I've never seen either one of these before. So this one I was super excited to find. So this is Super Mystery number 1, Babysitter's Haunted House. And then it has the little promo on the front for the BSC movie as well. So of course, anything to do with a haunted house, I'm going to be super, super stoked for. And I am 100% putting this in for my spooky season reads. So super, super excited about that. And then this one, so a couple of weeks ago, sorry, I meant to dig it out of the shelf, but I found one that was like a 4th of July Independence Day super special for BSC, and it had like the metallic stars on it. And I was so super excited to find it because I'd never seen one like that before. And this one is along the same lines. Never seen one like this before either. So this is super special number 7, The Babysitters Remember. So, and this one has a gold cover. It's a gold shiny cover, and it has all of the girls' names. Like, you know, in the super specials, if you know the Babysitters Club series, they have all of their names across the top, and they have like POV chapters, but it has their names in like their own handwriting across the top. And which is something that is so nostalgic for me from my childhood. That specifically, I remember getting the super specials every single summer and going to my parents' cabin. And so on the front, it has all of, I don't know if you can see it, but it has all of their names in their handwriting, and they're embossed on the cover, like all over the cover. You have Jessie, Stacy, Marianne, Mallory, Claudia. So they're all there, Christy, and so super, super cute. I was so stoked to find this. I mean, it's not in fantastic condition, but I've never seen one like this before, and it was next to nothing. So I scooped it up off the shelf. I think I paid $1.25 for it. So it says on the back, BSC Memories. So I guess they're talking about things that they can remember from the past, and probably things that you read in the traditional series, the mainstream series. And so this is really, really fun, and probably going to be one of my more prized babysitters books that I have on my shelf. Okay, continuing on with kind of the YA. So we had some middle grade there with the Sweet Valley Twins, and then moving into the YA with BSC. So we have one out of the Girls of Canby Hall series. So this is one, do I have just one? Yes. So these are not easy to find. I found a couple of them in the wild over the past little while, but they're really not very easy to find in the wild. So this is the Girls of Canby Hall number 23, But She's So Cute, and this is a series by Emily Chase. I haven't read any of these. This is the first printing from August of 1987. So I have a few of these now. Most of them I've gotten off of Etsy, and like I said, I have found, I think there was 2 or 3 other ones that I found in the wild, but I was super excited to add another one of those to the collection. So we have a Sweet Valley High, so I should have put these with the Sweet Valley Twins, but I didn't. This is number 65, Trouble at Home. And again, I try to find these, this particular cover with the vignettes on the front. So I knew I didn't have this one, and it's in fairly good condition. So just one for the Sweet Valley collection. the Sweet Valley High collection, that is. And then this is a new one, a new YA series that I hadn't heard anything about before. So this is the Couples series, and this is number 25, Love Exchange by M.E. Cooper. And just check out this cover. Just check out this cover. Straight out of Sears catalog, I'm telling you. Oh, there you go. I think it's focusing there a little bit. But having a lot of trouble with my focus on my camera. It's been really pissing me off. So hopefully you guys can see that. So a new series to start, so I'll keep an eye out for more of the Couples books. And then along the same line of like the YA romance, do have a couple more Lurleen McDaniel books. I have to see how many books this woman has actually written because I have absolutely no idea. And like I said, I've said it on the channel before, I read a few of her books when I was kind of like a preteen to a teenager. They're very melodramatic. They're very sad. Somebody is always dying. It's very Touched by an Angel. That's all I can think of. So this one, I'll Be Seeing You, and apparently he's not going to be seeing much because he's blindfolded here. So I'm assuming he's had some sort of injury to his eyes and there's a love that's going on. Then we have this one. It was funny because I think I found this one and I was telling Matthew about her books and they're melodramatic and somebody's always dying, and then I pulled this one straight off the shelf right after. It's called 6 Months to Live, and like I said, someone is always dying. So we have a young girl here in the hospital. And then this one, another Lurleen McDaniel. These are all standalones. Sometimes she writes like little kind of mini series, but these are all standalones, it seems. So this is the Time Capsule. Paid a ridiculous price for this one. The thrift store that I typically go to, like our big chain thrift store here in Canada, their prices have been getting ridiculous. Like, just kind of going off on an over-caffeinated gremlin rant for a second. I was really in need of a stock pot. Matthew stole mine to put ashes out of the wood stove. I don't want to talk about it. So I really needed a new stock pot. I was looking for a specific size, and I didn't want to spend an astronomical amount of money on it. So I was book hunting and I found a pot, and it was perfect size, didn't have any rust, didn't have any scratches or anything like that. And they were selling the lids separately. They were selling the pot lids separately. Like crazy. You guys get this stuff for free. Why are you charging me separately for a lid? And why are you charging me like a ridiculous amount of money for a used paperback that, again, you got for free? So they've jacked their prices vastly at my thrift store chain that I typically go to, and I'm not very happy about it. So anyway, over-caffeinated gremlin rant is over. So we do have a couple of more YA sort of standalones. These ones I hadn't heard of before. So this one, I don't know if it's part of a series or if it's a standalone. So this is Suds. Look at this. So it's almost like soaps, but for like YA girls. So it says Suds, a new daytime drama brought to you by Judy Angel, or Angle. This made me laugh so hard. I did not spend a huge amount of money. So it says, Sue's reputation is at stake. Does she have what it takes to go on? Tune into Suds, a new daytime drama. So it's like Days of Our Lives, I guess, but it's like YA. It made me laugh. Okay, so I had to get it. So this one, just the art itself on the front of the book looked very old. Like it looked very 70s, 80s. So this is from November 1984. This is a Laurel Leaf contemporary book, YA book. $1.79 I paid for this one. Close to the Edge by Gloria D. Milkowitz. And I'm not sure what it has to do with, because there's a big old sticker on the back of it, but just, you know, the contemporary sort of like 80s standalone, like doesn't really have much to the story kind of thing going on. The cover was amazing, so I went ahead and picked it up for the sake of $1.79. And then this one, Catherine Cookson, Hannah Massey. Catherine Cookson must be the author, and Hannah Massey is the name of the story, I think. Yes. So this one, and again, the cover looks very old. It looks very 60s. And this has a whole lot of publication dates on it. So it was originally published in 1967, and then it was republished and republished and republished. It's so hard to read these sometimes. It says first printed in Great Britain in 1964. I think maybe it was done in the US in 1967, but then it has a whole bunch of reprinting dates on it. And from what I can tell, this particular edition is from 1980. No, sorry, 1986. So this one here, Hannah Massey, like I said, she looks very, like it's a very old, very vintage looking cover. And it says, Hannah Massey was proud and canny. She was also intently ambitious. In best North Country style, she ruled her family with despotic power. Her ambition centered on Rosie, her favorite daughter. She would cheerfully have sacrificed the rest of her family for her, but not even Rosie could soften her terrible, dangerous pride. On the fringe of that raucous, brawling Massey family is Hughie, once taken out of kindness, now ignored by everyone. But he is watching and waiting, and the tension amounts. So honestly, I got it for the cover. I thought it would be fantastic to put in the collection, and I think it's probably going to be one of those things that you pull out when, like, you're not really looking for anything too heavy and just a cheesy story. I mean, I'm all about the cheesy YA fiction, right? We all know this. So I think that's pretty much it for the YA sort of girly series and standalones, of course. So we'll get into some of the horror and point horror right now. And there is a very exciting Grail find in this stack here. So it's not often that I go out and I find any kind of point horror books, but usually if I do spot one, it's ones, of course, that I already own. My point horror collection is quite large. But I did find a Carol Ellis that I don't own already. This is Silent Witness. Watch If You Dare, and it has, of course, the wonderful embossed lettering on the front. It's gold. It looks so good, and it's in really, really great condition. A lot of the sort of Fear Street, Christopher Pike, point horror, those kinds of books that I'm finding are not in good condition at all these days. So on the back it says, America's Deadliest Home Video. When Lucy Monroe's friend Alan dies, his mother sadly gives her some of his belongings. A few CDs, a couple of posters, and a videotape. Lucy has seen Alan making videos of his friends, but this one is different. It reveals a crime, a deadly crime. Now that Alan isn't alive, the tape is the only witness, and someone will do anything to make sure Lucy never sees it. My goodness, that sounds so, so good. And I know it's going to have all the wonderful point horror cheese. So I was really super excited to find that one. So this is another cover that absolutely made me laugh out loud. So this is another point book. This is Sarah Bishop by Scott Odell, who is the Newbery Award-winning author of Island of the Blue Dolphins, which is another one I read when I was a kid. Will the War Ever Be Over for Sarah? So this is kind of like a historical fiction sort of thing going on here. And she is very menacingly holding onto this shotgun. So I definitely picked this up to put in my point collection. Another point book we have here is Missing Since Monday, and this has a wonderfully vintage looking cover as well. It does have it's a little bit dirty. I think I could probably clean it up a bit, but it has this wonderful vintage looking cover here, and it's about this this girl and her younger sister, I think, goes missing or gets kidnapped. And it says, one thing is for sure, if police don't find Courtney soon, Maggie will be the next one missing. So definitely got that for the point collection. And I'm just going to skip over some of the fantasy here to get to this one. So this is the Grail find. I literally did a dance in the aisle at the thrift store because I couldn't believe it. I've been looking for The Starlight Crystal by Christopher Pike forever. This book, usually when you get it off of Etsy, eBay, whatever, from resellers, it is typically very, very expensive. It's one of the more rare ones. And this one is in such good condition. It's in such good condition, you guys. I was floored. I was so, so happy. This was that rainy day that I went out. It was piss pouring rain, and which is very rare here. It's very, very dry in Alberta. And I was so excited. Like, the spine doesn't have any creases. It doesn't even look like it was read. Unfortunately, there is one page that's kind of curled down here. We'll fix that. But again, I got it for $1.79. I couldn't believe it. It's one that I've been looking for my collection for some time. I had to snap a picture and send it to everybody because I was so, so excited. So another one for the Christopher Pike shelf. I haven't found any Christopher Pike in a long time. That was like one of the ones that I didn't own or that I didn't need as a replacement because it was in better condition. So I was so super excited. Okay, so a couple more. So this one, now we're getting into kind of the, not the regular series that you see me collecting. These are kind of offshoots or standalones. So this one here is a Tom Penny adventure. And I believe this is a Canadian book because it's talking about this young boy's family moving to Lower Canada. And there's pirates and shipwrecks and rum runners and all kinds of things in this adventure. And I'm assuming it's part of a series. So this is Tom Penny by Tony German. And it says a Tom Penny adventure. So I'm assuming there are more. There's no number on it. So I went ahead and grabbed this because I love anything that has to do with, like, you know, it talks about the Canadian landscape and geography and stuff like that, and history, and, you know, rum running and piracy and stuff like that is has very, very rich history here in Canada. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then this one, I love this one. I really want to read it actually. It's called The Dagger of Death by Walter Olsky. What is the dagger's gruesome secret? Oh my goodness, I love this. I love the cover on this book. It looks like it's so much adventure. And it's just, I guess, you know, when I look at this, it really appeals to me in like my, you know, kid from the 80s grew up with the Goonies kind of feeling going on here. So very, very excited for that. And then we have some fantasy, so some YA fantasy here. First, anything to do with dragons, I'm going to be all in. So this is The Secret of Dragonholm, A Man, a Castle, a Mystery by John Peel. So I don't read a whole lot of fantasy, like hardly any, but I love anything to do with dragons. So I've been picking up quite a few fantasy books here and there. You know, this is another author here, Patricia C. Reed. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. I've gotten a bunch of her books recently, or, you know, within the past year or so. So whenever I see her name, like a fantasy book that has to do with dragons, I'm going to pick it up. So this is Talking to Dragons. And it very much has a gore bash on the front here. So one of my favorite movies of all time is The Flight of Dragons, and there's a green dragon in it. His name is Gorbash. It's a whole thing. So whenever I see a book with a green dragon on it, I have to get it. And he's Gorbash from here on out. Okay, so this one, I wasn't really sure where to put it, so I did put it with the fantasy. So this is called Haunted Waters by Mary Pope Osborne. And so very, very cool cover. And it has to do with like this nymph. Undine is her name. And she's like a nymph kind of, and she meets this lord. And she seems to be the perfect woman, but gradually he begins to wonder just how much he knows about his mystical bride. He cannot guess what Undine may be concealing when she slips down to the river, into the woods, and he fears that the faceless demon who is stalking them through the woods and castle, cackling with his laughter and howling with rage, could be coming to claim her. So it sounds fantastic. And so fantastic cover. The story sounds amazing as well. And one that I hadn't heard of before. So this is another one that's like a school cast off. It came from Samuel Crowther Middle School Library. And now it's going into my library. So this is a first printing from 1994, which is pretty cool. And then the last two that I have in regard to like fantasy, I really have to start reading some of my fantasy books. So I found one of these when I was out 1 week, and then like 2 weeks later at a completely different store, I found the sequel, which is pretty cool. Hadn't heard of these before. and I was super excited to find them. Okay, I just had to look and see which one came first. So this one is first. This is Elsewhere by Will Shetterly. And it says, a novel of the borderlands where magic meets rock and roll. And just look at this cool dude on the front here. Crazy, right? So the cover just pulled me in, and of course anything to do with like horror, fantasy, rock and roll, I'm most definitely going to be all for it. So this is actually a tour book, and it says, a hard-edged vision sharp as a knife blade, a borderline where punk and funk mix with Blake and Yeats. And fairy is not as you might expect. Surprising, daring, and deeply moving. Elsewhere could only have been written here and now. So really that's all I needed to know. And then a couple of weeks later, I found this one, Never Never, which is the sequel to Elsewhere. And it has this very dominatrix looking woman on the front with a werewolf. So again, I mean, the cover was all I needed to know, but these look very, very cool. Let me know if you've read these or if you know of this series, and if there's any more, or if it's just a duology. So I got these specifically for my fantasy shelf, but even more specifically because it has to do with magic meeting rock and roll. Okay, 3 more categories to go. So moving on to adult horror, which I don't get a whole lot of adult horror. Like my collection is mainly YA and middle grade, and then of course nonfiction sort of paranormal spooky books. But my adult horror collection has been growing over the past few months. So this one is a replacement book. This is Summer of Night, which for the past 2 years I have put into my summer reads. I said I was going to read it during the summer, never ever did. I got this for $4, and it does have the step back cover art, which I love. This is one of my favorite covers in my collection, but this one is in slightly better condition than the one that I have. So the one I have I can use for reading copy, and I can keep this one for like my actual like collector's edition. Funny enough, both copies have the upper corner is missing, but this one, like I said, is in slightly better condition, and the spine is in a lot better condition. So for the sake of $4, I went ahead and picked it up, and I'm really going to try to get to this one this summer. I haven't read any Dan Simmons, and I've been really meaning to. This one I found just last week, actually. This is the Vampire Files Book 2 in the exciting new series. This is Lifeblood by P.N. Elrond, and I love the cover on this. So I'll have to keep, and I love like the old kind of vintage style books where they have the sprayed edges. Usually they're yellow or blue. So I will have to keep an eye out for book 1 in this series before. I don't even want to read the synopsis. I just want to see if I can find book 1. But by the cover, it looks fantastic. And of course, vampires. Have another exciting vampire book in this haul as well, which I'm super excited to share with you. So this one, Cradle to Grave by Susan Claudia. The image on the cover is very problematic, but it sounds fantastic. The day they married is the day evil begins. The Brahms, one of America's first family, is so powerful that its towering patriarch, Old Tom, can make his eldest son, Bill, President of the United States. So glamorous that the marriage of the youngest son, Paul, to the beautiful Lenore is the most glittering affair of the year. But Tom has an old debt of blood to pay, and Lenore, too ravishing to be altogether human, will make the Brahms one by one pay it in full. So sounds fantastic. I picked this one up on a whim. It's just a kind of a thriller. It's Barbara Collins, called Regeneration, and it's like a selling your soul sort of story for riches and beauty and all of those things. And then, oh, I do have another grail here actually. This one, so I love anything to do with like horror and music, or like rock and roll horror, which is something that I wanted to do coming up here on the channel, read some rock and roll horror books. So the cover actually drew me in on this one, Devil Take the Blue Tail Fly, and you can see the sheet music with a key down here. And it says, Penguin Classic Crimes. What if your husband had fallen in love with someone else? Dr. Danzer had asked her gently. Would that be so terrible? Well, yes, it would. We know it would. So that's another one to put in with the collection, something to do with music. This one, the cover really drew me in, and this was really, it was worthy of a step back cover, but it doesn't. It's just the single cover. So this is the body in the vestibule, and I love the look of this. And it says, creme de la creme, amateur sleuth Faith Fairchild, who gave up big-time New York catering for small-town New England family life, is satisfying her hunger for Epicurean adventure in the French provinces, writing a cookbook and reveling in the abundance of incredible edibles. What better place to throw the perfect dinner party, or, as it turns out, to solve a not-so-perfect murder? So that sounds fantastic. I love kind of those crime sort of mysteries. And here we go, another Holy Grail find. Like I said, there's a couple of grails in this haul, and I was so super excited to find this book. I already own a copy of this one, but I was looking for this cover specifically, this edition specifically, and the one that I have is the movie tie-in edition. So we have Christine by Stephen King, paperback, and I would love to someday have a hardcover, but this is a first printing from 1983. Super excited to have it. It's in fantastic condition. Like I said, the one that I already have is the movie tie-in edition, which I will go through when I do my movie and show novelization shelf bookshelf tour. So very excited to finally get the one in the edition that I wanted, and it was in fantastic condition. It was like $2, so can't get much better than that. And speaking of movie and show novelizations, I do have a whole slew to put on my shelf, and then once I get these put up, I will do a shelf tour, and super excited about that. So first of all, I've got 3 in this one. So we did find 3 in the Charmed novelizations. I was so super excited because up until a few months ago, I only had 1 in the Charmed series, and I've been finding kind of 1 or 2 each time I go out lately. So we have, no, this is all the later ones. I was wondering, were they the original 3 sisters, or was it the ones with Rose McGowan? All of these are the ones with Rose McGowan. So we have Luck Be a Lady. The Charmed ones head backstage and back in time. We have Between Worlds, powerful emotions wield terrifying force. And I love this one because it has a full moon here, but then it has these like jack-o'-lantern faces up here, which is very cool. And then we have this one. These aren't numbered, by the way. I keep seeing if they're numbered. They're not. Dark Vengeance. An ancient clan wields its own power of 3. So we have the girls on the front here. So I think out of all these, this one is definitely my favorite cover with the jack-o'-lanterns up top. So I was super excited to get more Charmed. I have been craving actually watching Charmed recently. Okay, let's skip over that one for a second. My first one in this series, so we have a novelization of Seventh Heaven. Seventh Heaven is a show that I used to watch when I was growing up. It's very cheesy. If you don't know, it's about this pastor and his wife, and they have seven children and stuff, and it's like all morality sort of things. So this is Lucy's Angel. So Lucy is one of the daughters. So we have that one. We have 2 out of the Sabrina series. So we have number, I hate the font on these. It's so hard to read. I think this is number 21, Prom Time. The big night is headed for big trouble. So we have Sabrina, Harvey, and Libby getting ready for their prom. And then we have this one. This is number 36, Wake Up Call. When will Sabrina get the message? And look at this like old style Nokia cell phone. This would have been all the rage. I mean, this is like very 1998 to 2000s. So a couple more Sabrina books. I have to start saying officially out loud that, hey, I wish I could find more whatever books, because I said that I wanted to find more Sabrina books and they popped up. I said I wanted to find more Charmed books and they popped up. So fantastic. I'm really super excited about both of those. And then we did find another Road to Avonlea book. So we were talking about like the Mandy series being from that kind of era. We had an L.M. Montgomery, and now we have a Road to Avonlea. So this is May the Best Man Win, of course. So the two men are fighting over Aunt Olivia. So if you know of this show, you'll know this episode. And I love how it has the inserts on the inside of, you know, the images from the show. So fantastic. Another Road to Avonlea to add to the collection. Then it's been, actually this is the first time I found an Alex Mack in the wild. I do own a couple, but they were gifted to me. And excuse me. So this is one out of the Secret World of Alex Mack. These are not numbered either, but this is Father-Daughter Disaster. And I used to love watching Alex Mack when I was growing up. Fantastic show, Nickelodeon. And then, okay. So we have two out of the Twitches series. So Twitches is something that I've only just recently started to find as well. And really super excited that these were in such good condition. So we have number 5, Don't Think Twice. And then we have number 6, Double Jeopardy. So I love the Twitches movies, the Disney movies. I've never read any of the books, but I would like to. So I've actually found quite a few in recent months out when I'm book hunting. Then we have 2 out of the X-Files. So 2 novelizations of X-Files. We have number 6, Shapes, and number 10, Die Bug Die. So I can remember these sorts of episodes. So I had a couple of the X-Files novelizations books, but I had gifted them to a friend of mine in a boot box a couple of years ago, and then decided I did want to actually collect them for myself as well. And then along the same lines, I was really super excited to find this. So this is the X-Files Book of the Unexplained Volume 2. So like when we're talking about Buffy, they have the Watcher's Guide. So this one is like, it talks about different aspects of the show and the different creatures and the different aliens and stuff and the different cases. So it's like a companion book. Very, very cool, full color photography. And I was super excited to find this. So I will have to keep an eye out for the first one in this as well. Sorry, it's a little bit glary. And then I believe I have one other one. I think the other one I have is Stephanie. So we do have Michelle and Friends for the Birds from the Full House novelizations. I was a huge Full House fan when I was growing up, and yes, I did watch Fuller House, and yes, I loved it. So I was really excited to start collecting these. So this is my second one. Like I said, the other one is Stephanie. So if I find a DJ, I will be very, very happy. And then we have a couple of, so this is mostly show novelizations. We have a couple of movie novelizations. So we have Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade with exciting photos. So if you're into Indiana Jones, what's your favorite Indiana Jones movie? Mine is Temple of Doom, but Last Crusade is pretty cool too. So it does have some movie stills in there. And then I was super excited to find this one, Gremlins, because I do own Gremlins 2, the novelization. It's already on the shelf, so now I have both of them. Super, super excited to find this one. So I guess you can kind of consider this one a grail too. I've been looking for it for a while. Okay, this is the last stack. I'm going for the big one on the bottom first, because it doesn't really fit in with the rest. So I found this one. I was really super excited about it. I think I paid like $5 or $6. It's huge. And this is the Vampire Omnibus. And I think there's a few different iterations of the cover of this one. So it is hardcover. And so it has Dracula, Nosferatu, Son of Dracula, Prince of Darkness, Dark Shadow, Salem's Lot, Interview with the Vampire. So it talks about all of them in here. I love this. Look at that. So super cool. Edited by Peter Haining. What's this from? 1995, in memory of Peter Cushing, the greatest vampire hunter of all time. Oh, that's so cool. So this is very, very cool to add to my vampire shelf. I was so super excited to find this. And then the rest that I have are ghosty books for my ghosty shelf. And there's some very exciting finds in here. And I mean, I always get super excited when I find ghosty books that I don't own, because my collection is getting quite vast. So whenever I find something that I don't own or that I didn't hear of before, it makes me so super happy. So this one is called Creepy Classics, Hair-Raising Horror from the Masters of the Macabre. And it looks like Gmork on the front here, does it not? Was anybody else terrified of Gmork when they were a kid from Neverending Story? He scared the crap out of me when I was growing up. I mean, what a like scarring sort of horrible movie that was. So good. But you know, the Gmork absolutely terrified the crap out of me. So this is like a short story collection, of course. Oh, and it's illustrated as well, which is pretty cool. Okay, so we do have some from the Ghost House series that I don't own. I'm so excited, so excited, because I own so many of them, and I always see the same ones when I'm out, so I very rarely get to add to that collection. But this one I already do own, but I went ahead and picked it up because I would like to put it in a boo box. So this is Haunted Halloween Stories, 13 Chilling Read Aloud Tales. So this is number 34 out of the Ghost House series, and one of the more rare ones. Then we have number 36. Found this one just the other day, Ghost Stories of the Sea. Don't own this one. So super excited, and it's in fantastic condition. And then we have this one, Scary Stories, a cryptic collection of 28 twisted tales. This is number 52 out of the Ghost House series. So I'm so excited to get these cataloged and up on the shelf. I love adding to my Ghost House series specifically. And like I said, when I can find ones that I don't own, it's so super exciting. Okay, I actually do own, I'm not sure if it's number 2 or number 1 in this collection. This is Hawaii's Best Spooky Tales, Volume 3. So obviously, living in Western Canada, most of the ghost story books that I find have to do with areas around Western Canada. When I can find them from like the US or Britain or Scotland or wherever, it's very exciting. And the fact that I already own one of these with, like, you know, the similar cover and everything in the similar series is fantastic. So this is volume 3, and like I said, I either have volume 2 or volume 1, so that was a super exciting find. So I have this one. This was a really exciting find too, A Gathering of Ghosts, Hauntings and Exorcisms from the Personal Casebook of Robin Skelton and Jean Koskari. Or Kozakari. So this is like the case files of these practicing Ghostbusters, armed with video recorders, cameras, divining rods, packages of sea salt, and a keen sensitivity to cold spots around the house. They investigate strange occurrences and the unexplained bumps in the night. So it is a hardcover, fantastic, one that I had never heard of before. And sometimes when you're looking for books like this, it'll say, like, it'll say Ghosts of the Battlefields or something, but it's like war history. It has nothing to do with spirits. So it's so super exciting when you find stuff like this. So this is from 1989 and still in fantastic condition. So that was a super exciting find. And then getting into some short story collections here. So we have another hardcover book. This is the library binding, Tales of Horror and Mystery. So this has stories by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, H.G. Wells, Oscar Wilde, Charles Dickens, and Roald Dahl. So very cool cover too. So I'll put this in my ghosty short story collection. We also have a Fright Time, and it's really rare for me to find Fright Time books that I don't own either. These are also super, super rare. This is, I believe, the first time I've ever found them out in the wild, so that was super exciting. This is volume 14, 3 spine-tingling tales for young readers. Eye of the Spider, Strike Up the Fear, and Cave of No Return. fantastic condition. The only thing is I haven't found any treasures in my books lately. So Matthew actually asked me that not long ago if I had found any treasures, and I said no. And then this one, I was so excited by this one. It was one of my favorite finds of the past few weeks. So this is Tales to Tremble By. It's also a library binding, and it is clearly very, very old. And I believe it's from, oh, just look at the end papers. So super cool. So this is, oh, it's illustrated as well. 1966. So this will go down as one of the oldest books in my collection. I do have one from 1968. This one might be the oldest book in my collection now, because I believe the other one, The Ghost of Windy Hill, which is very much sort of the same style, was the oldest book in my collection, and now this one will be. So a book of short spooky tales from the 60s. You can't get much better, in my opinion. So there you go. I think that's long enough. I think that was 68 books that I shared with you that I now have to get cataloged and find space for on the shelves. I'm so super excited. There was a couple of grails here. I had a fantastic time out book hunting, and exciting finds. So this is going to be the last big book haul for the next little while. Like I said, I have other things that I have to focus my time on. So I hope you guys enjoyed the haul. If you did, give me a thumbs up and leave me a question or comment down below, because you know I love chatting with you guys. But until next time, stay spooky, everybody. Bye.